Dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, absolutely.
Are those the guys that...
It's Watto from...
The Jabbas?
No, that's episode 1. It's the guy from episode 1 where they're like in the shop, like when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fly Princess Amidala's ship to Tatooine, but they have to like crash land on Tatooine basically because they need parts because their the deflector shields are no longer working, so they can't get across the galaxy to Coruscant because Naboo was under attack. And then so they end up at that parts shop, and that's where he finds Anakin the first time. And the guy who's like flying around, he's like,
that's right. Yeah.
Republic credits no good here.
Wow. I'd forgotten all about that, dude.
Yeah. He's like
I thought, now looking back, I think that's Brian Callen, right?
Can you imagine? Hey man, how you sleeping?
Awful. Always.
Really?
Forever and always.
Okay, that doesn't change anything then.
Been having an increase of dreams about drinking. I did have one funny dream though.
Okay.
It was still like involved drinking, but that was like a side, it
was like a side
quest.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking for. The funny thing was I was at a party and Missy and April were there. And it was just the two of them. And for some reason, Missy and I started making out. And I grabbed her butt. And she goes, "Gross, don't touch my ass." And then we both laughed like crazy. And then that was it. And then I went and robbed a liquor store.
Wow.
Of its liquor.
Yeah. Hey, I will tell you that, if you keep having these dreams and they keep getting fucking weird and really invasive, maybe either call and talk to somebody or call me. I'm happy to talk about it.
They're not... It's...
Yeah. It's like my thing now.
Oh, man. I'm so excited for... It will be... Yeah, so if you're a listener, you will have already heard what I do with Alex's super awesome internal burps. It's going to be great. But... Oh, fuck, now I forgot what were we talking about?
Oh, how you have been having dreams.
Oh, the dream thing. Yeah. They're like, they still feel like just dreams. Like the same way that I'm not going to go and make out with Missy.
Right. Okay. So there's no like,
euphoric recall.
Well, for me, it's like, the distinction between like a dream and a nightmare isn't necessarily like how scary or terrifying it is. It's how it impacts you when you wake up.
Right.
So like if it's not like truly nightmarish, you can like wake up and you're like, whew, that was fucking weird. And then you move on with your day. But like, nightmares don't, in my experience, I've never really had dreams that like scared the piss out of me. They're always just dreams that make me so fucking sad. And then you wake up and then it's like, first half of the day, you're like, God, my fucking dog's dead. Like this sucks. That actually happened. I had a dream like that a couple weeks ago. So that's the reason I use that example.
You had a dream that your dog died?
Well, so my dog.
You have a dog?
Well, my parents' dogs, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
we had him my whole life, right?
Sure.
And, or the dog that died, we had pretty much my whole life. I mean, we got him when I was like 12 and he died like this past year. He was 15. He was an old fucking dog, and he had cancer. He was very sick. But in the dream, like I let him outside and then I lose him in the dream. And then I go on this fucking search for him. I have had this dream twice.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I go on this search
sucks.
for him and then I come back home and I fucking realize that he's dead. Yeah, dude, not sweet. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, that's a nightmare.
Yeah,
but it's not like scary. It just sucks horn. Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying now.
Spicy meatballs.
That made me think though of my friend, my best friend, when I was growing up. He had 2 dogs. One that everyone hated because she would bite, like little, not a Yorkie, but kind of Yorkie-esque.
Okay.
Looks
little shit dog.
Little shit dog. And they left one day to go to the Mall of America or something like that. They were gone from the house for a while, and they came back. And my friend Eric went into his bedroom, and his is like the window down here, where it's kind of in the basement,
yeah.
so you see right out. And there was a set of stairs in this deck that lead down, and you can kind of see it from his window. So he looks out the window, and there is the dog hanging. It had hung itself. The reason I laugh is because I remember when he told me, he was like, that stupid fucking dog. He was so mad.
Oh man, that is tough.
It's funny that because it was just his one sister that liked the dog and everyone else fucking hated it. Oh. So I think she had to have for a split second been like, which one of you hung Mittens? Like,
the dog's name is Mittens.
I don't know.
I was like, that's even more sad.
It's probably something douchey like Sean.
What's wrong with naming your dog a human name? I think it's cool.
Sean?
I think it's a pretty funny dog name.
Here, Sean.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
Sean shit in the shampoo room.
Why do you have a shampoo room? That's fucking weird. That's weirder than naming your dog Sean.
Well, if you have a dog and you're going to name it Sean, it gets its own shampoo room.
Okay, fair. Caitlin and I, when we were talking about getting a dog, we talked about naming a dog Henry. I think that's awesome.
See, that's, yeah.
Name a dog Henry, call it Hank. I've always wanted to get a dog and name it Dude, because I think that's hilarious. Dude, like, you can say its name just like you would say it in conversation in real life, you know? Like, if your friend shit on the floor, you'd be like, dude, I have to fucking clean this up. Coming home every day, you're like, what's up, dude? But it's your dog. Although, like it would get weird because you say it so often. The dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like when people name their dog Buddy. Yeah, because you call dogs Buddy already. Like you meet a dog, you're like, "Hey, Buddy."
Yeah.
I have a topic.
Oh, did you fucking email me again?
No.
Okay. See, you're learning. You're learning. It does make me laugh when you still email me shit and you're like, "Did you get it?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Did I get it?" No, I didn't get it. If you had to ask if I got something, the answer is I didn't get it.
So done got it?
Why did I say it like that? That was so weird. All right. I mean, hit me with the topic. I did want to
you go
give
first.
You a quick update.
So, that's what the first thing I almost fucked up. First thing I want to ask about is the date.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can follow the...
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
I know I got real like...
Because the sleeping thing. So I wanted to give you an update and then everyone else an update at the same time.
Where's my camera?
In the chronicles of what did Alex do to Caitlin while she was sleeping again? Because I'm the worst sleeping partner ever. 3 nights ago, I stuck my hand in her mouth. She said she woke up like suffocating because my finger was just like... Yeah, dude, what the fuck is wrong with me? It's insane.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like I was having a weird dream too, like very sexual in nature, about her.
Okay.
So it was, you know what I mean? So it was like super weird to like find out the next day. Like I remember waking up after having the dream and being like, Jesus, man, that was odd, you know? And then her being like, hey, you want to not stick your hand in my mouth tonight? And I was like, wait. Because none of what happened in the dream involved me putting my hands anywhere.
Yeah.
Might as well have not had hands in the dream. Like,
right.
And so like in this case, I was just like, wow, I was reaching and clawing for literally anything there. That was... Anyway, so
that's fucking hilarious.
The date was fantastic. We went to Chatters, which good place.
Yeah.
Like really not bad at all. The food was nice.
What was it like though? Like getting to talk to a waiter and...
It was odd. Very odd. Because for them, I should say, it's the same scenario, but it's completely reversed of the consumer side. So for the wait staff, it was equally as exciting, obviously.
Oh.
But it was also, you could see for them, like, and this could have had to do with other circumstances, like that there were only a couple of people on the wait staff.
Oh, okay.
Because they're trying to limit the number of people that are there at once, you know,
Sure.
obviously. But, there was some scrambling going on for sure, like between the two waitresses that were out there.
Oh, it's just the two.
Right. But it's just the patio, and the patio isn't super big.
Oh.
You know, because you can't go in the restaurants right now. It's
Oh,
just
see,
all
I didn't
patio.
know that.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
patio. So, they're dipping in and out. But it was pretty crazy to like go sit down and like somebody else is making you food, and then they just like bring you food.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck yeah, dude, I miss this a lot. Cheese curds in butt. Sorry.
They put it in your butt?
No, I did. No. No, we did get cheese curds though, and then I got it's called the Hangover, but it's literally, dude, it's a mess of it's a burger, but it's like it's a burger, but it's so much more. Dude, it was such a disaster. It's literally like a croissant bun. So like mistake number 1, you don't put anything with any amount of moisture ever on a croissant, because then the croissant turns into a wet napkin,
Although, have you ever had like a croissant, like cream-filled croissant?
Like a chocolate croissant from Starbucks.
Yeah, like chocolate croissant, or like sometimes they put like Danish type of stuff in there.
Yeah, but like a Danish is different than a croissant.
No, the cream that goes in there,
Cream
I
cheese?
associate
Or
with
like
the
Boston
Danish,
cream?
like a Boston cream. You never had
dude, like
Boston
custard?
cream inside? Yeah, so like
Goof, magoof. I haven't, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and it sounds phenomenal.
yeah. So
Croissants are like. Did you ever do that when you were a kid? Like, mom like bought like a pack of croissants or a bag of croissants for sandwiches, and then you just like eat 6 croissants, and you're like, shit.
Kim can't buy croissants anymore because I just eat them all. I
just
get
don't
that that's
stop.
the goal, like you're supposed to eat them all, but I eat them all.
Right. When I was a kid, my mom would buy the big old pack from Sam's or Costco or whatever. But yeah, I would just like, I'd get home late, whatever, and then I'd go over to the pack and I'd grab like 4 croissants and then go sit in my bed and like watch, like best of fucking Maynard James Keenan on Joe Rogan for like 3 hours and just mash croissants into my face. Yeah, so dumb.
Best of Maynard James Keenan?
Yeah, I mean, it was a joke. I don't think that video exists. Although
I was gonna say that sounds. I mean,
there are some things that exist that you're like, wow, that is.
people tell my dad all the time that he looks like Maynard.
He kind of does,
People will be like, "Hey, have you heard of Tool?"
and your dad's
And
like,
it's like,
yeah, man,
yeah, I have.
it's not the first time. Thanks, dude. Maynard's a badass. Anyway,
Yeah.
he's like a jujitsu fucking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so cool. Anyway,
He's the coolest. He does like the whole ancient grain.
oh yeah, he's got a
enthusiast.
winery.
Yeah.
You know, his winery apparently like has an issue with tarantula hawks right now. You know what those are?
It sounds awful. If it's tarantulas that can fly, I'm fucking out.
No, they're like literally like wasps that are the size of tarantulas. Not literally, but like the body of a tarantula is like yay big. They're like giant black wasps.
Ugh.
Horrifying. Apparently the sting from a tarantula wasp is like the most painful thing. Like,
Is that those murder hornets that came over?
no. Those kill bees. Right?
I think so.
Or do they kill us?
I think they just kill.
Or do they kill everything? I don't know. So.
They're
But,
like 007 in that regard. They just have a license to kill.
Names murder. Murder wasp.
No,
murder.
wait. Here's my impression of a murder wasp asking for a drink. Sir, I can't understand you.
Dude, I could see in the face that you were making beforehand that you knew that was going to kill me and you were so excited. That was awesome. That's almost my favorite thing about telling jokes in general, or like having friends that tell jokes.
Yeah.
Is like when they know they're going to get you.
Yeah.
And then they have that like twinkle in their eye. Like I have a fucking funny thing to say to you right now.
That's my brother up until he was probably 23. Without fail, every time I would say poop, he would laugh.
That's awesome.
If not a big laugh, he would at least go.
Which is almost better than a big laugh because it's like laughing and disappointment at the same time. Great feeling. You had a topic lined up.
Yeah, I want to hear more about this date though.
Well, we got into an argument, which again is my fault. Yeah, entirely my fault. Almost all of like the bad, or I guess not necessarily bad, the up and down sort of things that happen in our relationship are entirely my fault, and just my inability to separate my emotions from like reality. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. It's because I'm a spaz just in real life. I just am. You know, I try to like play a super chill guy, whatever, but like you hit the right buttons, and I am.
Oh yeah.
I go off the fucking chain. But in this particular instance, it was one of those things where, like, when I was growing up, I used to get so GD frustrated with this. But when somebody would contradict you, right? So, like, you whether it's an opinion or whatever, right? But what you're saying is correct. So, like, it's factual, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then they contradict you, and then they refuse to back down from their contradiction, even though you are factually accurate. And then they go into, I'm going to prove you wrong mode, and then they're wrong, and then they don't admit that they're wrong. They just come up with other excuses to diffuse the scenario.
Oh, yeah.
And everything in my body is like, fucking tell me that I was right, you know? But like, it doesn't, you know? And so yesterday, it was literally so pathetic. It was literally about a scene in Game of Thrones. And she was like, yeah. She was like, Tyrion, like, there's like an incest scene with Tyrion Lannister, right? Like on a horse. And I was like, no, that's not Tyrion Lannister. She's like, it was the short guy. And I'm like, nope, it wasn't. It was Theon Greyjoy. Like, I can tell you. She was like, it wasn't. It literally wasn't. And she's like, this is the only scene I've ever seen from the show. And I'm like, oh, so you're definitely right then. And it just spiraled. And it was like 5 minutes of me just being like, what the fuck? You know, like so. And then she's like, you know, after all that, I was like, you know, mostly my bad on that one. I'll take ownership.
That's
I felt
so
horrible.
Funny. You should see how fucking ridiculous it is by the names that you're saying.
Oh, 100%.
Right? The topic of incest in Tyrion Lannister and Grateful Malfoy.
Trust me.
What was it?
You know better than being Draco Malfoy.
Draco Malfoy, yeah.
Yeah, it's Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they both European?
I don't fucking know. Mostly because Westeros isn't a real place.
It's fair. But also... neither is Hogwarts, but still
fucking you don't know
pretty
that.
European. Right? Where's Hogwarts?
We're muggles, bro. How could we possibly know?
I wonder that because this is something that I've never looked into but always thought about, which is also this bleeds perfectly into the next topic, which I wrote down as nerd shit. I just wanted to do nerd shit.
You just want to nerd out today?
I just want to do nerd shit.
Hell yeah, dude.
Because I've been watching that fucking Comics Explained guy nonstop. Have you heard of that dude?
No.
So he is this guy who like gives you like a synopsis, but in really awesome detail of these comic books. Oh. So like when there's a run of comics and you have to wait a fucking month in between comics, he will condense that shit and do like this 3-hour video, like give you all the backstory so that everything makes sense. And I fucking love it.
That's great.
I listened to one because it just looked interesting. I think it was like everybody on Earth gets superpowers, I think. There's one comic where I think it was a DC one, I can't remember, but anyways, that one was kind of so. And then I saw Thanos becomes the one above all. I was like, well, that sounds cool. And it just Captain America joins Hydra and takes over America. It's now.
Wow.
Now?
Yeah.
I had a conversation with my father like this. There's a lot of comparisons between Hydra and Nazis, and the reason is because the writers in issue 52, they saw the world around them, and they wanted to explain it in a way for readers. Like, I just went off on this stupid nerd rant about how Captain America and Hydra were reflections of the current state of the world when they were being written, which they were.
Well, I mean, Hydra was a subsect of the Nazis.
Right. So they... Here comes the nerd.
Hell, Hydra!
So Hydra, they're around, yes. And they're like, Hitler, it's okay. You're doing all right. Let's go look for some artifact.
The Jews are a problem, but we're not going to focus on that. We just want the superpowers.
So Hitler's like, God, I fucking hate those Jews. And Hydra's like, well, yeah, of course. But let's... but also the artifacts, dude. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then they're like, sending pigeons, and they're like, hey, bro, we outside. Where are you at? And then he sends a pigeon back, and it's just ... And they're like, he's fucking fighting the Jews again. We know it. So
nerd shit.
So they were like, you are thinking way too small with fighting these Jews. It's so stupid. That's seriously what they thought. They were like, come on, man. We could take over the world. So they were like, we need to take over the world, and we're playing like the long game. Like
with Hydra.
Yeah. And it's so impressive. Like, I forget what the name of
Red Skull
of the series. No, it's the name of the series that they did with, like, Red Skull gets taken out like immediately
in the series.
Yeah, so Helmut. I don't know if you're familiar with Helmut, but he's a factor.
Is Helmut?
He's got a big helmet.
Black Widow's.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Dad?
I don't know.
Okay, I haven't seen the Black Widow movie.
Did that come out? No. You know what does come out though? Okay, let me finish this real quick, and then I'm going to tell you what's coming out soon. Okay, so Hydra plays the long game, and this is what's so scary about the current state of things today. So, the T'Chari are coming and attacking Earth because we stole like their queen bee, and so the T'Chari are basically like bees, like they just attack and protect the queen, and that's it. And they're doing this, and Captain America and Tony Stark had built this shield that would encompass the Earth, and they were like, this is going to be the only way that we can keep those fucking T'Chari out. United States, goddamn. United States gives them the thumbs up, and shields go up, but Captain Marvel and all of like the,
Cosmic heroes. Yeah.
Cosmic heroes. There we go. Are outside of the shield.
So they gonna die.
They're gonna die.
For blurp.
But they can breathe in space, so they're just like, what the fuck? Okay, so then there's another crisis. I wish I could remember. Oh, there was another attack, and
this is post Dome being put up. Okay.
And the United States is like, we can't fucking handle this. We're bringing the president to a bunker. We are relinquishing his post and giving it to you. Please don't fuck this up. Protect the Earth. And he's like, hey.
To Captain America?
Will fucking do. Yeah. Captain America. So Captain America becomes the president in effect, right?
And then
he's like, oh, by the way, I'm a Hydra agent. I love Hydra.
Oh, by the way, hail Hydra, bitches.
So he hail Hydras all over the United States, right?
Oh, that's so fucked. Keep going?
It's incredible. So here's the fucked up thing. And the parallels with what we're dealing with now. When President Trump got elected, literally nothing changed in my life. Not a single actual job say that everything was the same.
Right.
That's what they portray in the comic is that everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck? But also,
well, everything's normal.
Everything's fine, actually. And so all he did was like he just sought out mutants and like metahumans, so to speak, and just made them register. Beyond that, like everything got better, and he was just a fascist. He like Thor ended up following him because he could still pick the hammer up. Because you can, so it's for whosoever is worthy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So the concept that it's whoever truly believes that they're worthy, they can pick that hammer up.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you're good or evil.
Right.
So Thor thinks though that means, oh, he's a good guy.
Right.
And so he follows Mjolnir, and because that's like what he really believes in is Mjolnir.
Right.
There's other random superheroes that follow him, and it's so fucking crazy because I started getting like anxiety because I was like, oh shit, that's here, that's everywhere. Is like things are just slowly getting more and more fascist, but no one is really doing anything about it because it doesn't affect me yet. Like the things that the president is doing are things that at the flip of a switch, he's this close.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he's like this close, but
oh, dude, my dad fills me in, and he is an intelligent human being.
Yeah,
nothing really scares him. This scares him. Like he gives me the breakdown of how he infiltrates the judicial system and
oh yeah, I mean,
all of these things. Like
I don't. If I'm correct, no president has made more judicial appointments in the last like 30 years than Donald has, and I mean he's
But so anyway, so
he's
that's the crazy thing.
Dope, really is. That's all. I want to make one thing explicitly clear.
He is dope.
Correct. I did not. Thank you for noticing that. I'm glad. I need it. He is a fucking dope. The guy's a dope. He's a dinkus. All right. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, so that was crazy. So then I'm like, now I'm like, okay, all comics must be amazing, right? So now I'm out, like,
dude, you got to watch the
24 hours worth of listening to this guy.
Yeah.
About dark metal, about fucking old Logan.
Well, yeah.
It's
you got to watch Star Wars Theory, man.
Star Wars Theory?
Yeah, he does the exact same thing in the Star Wars universe.
The best part about that guy, I played you a little bit of his voice, right?
Maybe.
His voice, I'm going to put a little snippet of his voice in.
All right.
All we know is what we were told in Thor number 154 when he first appeared.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like,
I definitely want to watch this guy.
It's great.
Dude, Star Wars Theory is the opposite. Star Wars Theory is like a cool fucking guy. Like,
really?
Yeah, he's the guy that was like, yo, I'm going to go bang chicks. And you're like, hell yeah, Tony. But Star Wars Theory is excellent because he's got my favorite comic recap video that I've maybe ever seen is the Vader series, which is...
I'd never even thought about Star Wars comics.
That's where almost all the canon comes from.
Oh, really?
So there's like two sides to the Star Wars like lore, really. There's canon material and then there's Legends material. And Star Wars Legends material like isn't canon, but it's like it would be, I guess the comparison would be like how X-Men are not like in the MCU really, but they're still Marvel characters.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah, but in the comics, that's totally different.
I know. I'm just talking purely about the movies, like that relationship.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So
okay.
like, and obviously it's like because Sony and
whatever, right.
Yeah, but the movie thing is the
you.
best way to explain like canon and Legends. Like they exist alongside each other. And there's stories that include characters from both kind of thing, but they like aren't really like Legends doesn't add anything to canon at all, but it's like still fun and entertaining. In Star Wars, it's just not like it doesn't fit the timeline. It's just like extra shit, you know. There was a Vader series that came out. I think it was just called Vader, but it was about like the arc of the beginning of Vader's story. And so it basically picks up right at the end of episode 3 where they're like on why am I fucking blanking on the name of that planet? But when
Tatooine?
when Obi-Wan and Anakin are like fighting and he gets all his limbs cut off, and then like Palpatine like rescues Anakin and then turns him into Vader. Like that little stretch, right? So
was that the planet that Princess Leia is from?
Is it Mustafar? I think it's Mustafar. I think it's definitely Mustafar, actually. Did you say Princess Leia? And I just like didn't even. Wow, well done. But yeah, it's Mustafar, I'm pretty sure. So it's like a 3.5 hour recap video, which is like the best. But it's like piece by piece, like explains how like Anakin becomes Vader, and then Vader becomes like fucking Vader. Like, so when he first started, there was like so much confusion, you know, and like anger. That's what like drove Vader. But like in the first like stretch of time of him being Vader, that anger turned to like legitimate hate. And then like he fully embraced the dark side of the Force. It was like no longer was he just like lashing out with
like how
passion.
Kylo Ren.
Well, yeah, like it no longer became because like with Kylo Ren, like he it was like a maturity thing almost. But like with Anakin, it was like he was angry and lashing out because he wanted to save Padme.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then Padme dies, and so then his anger turns to like hate in that moment when Padme dies, and so there's like this whole like emotional roller coaster that he goes through, but. Like he goes through the process of like getting his red saber, and like the red saber requires like a soul to like be injected into the kyber crystal.
What?
Yeah. So like, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that's how red kyber crystals are created, is like with souls. So that's why like
This is awesome.
yeah. And then so like Anakin or Vader at this point gets like he goes to Palpatine, and Palpatine starts giving him these like missions to like basically not just like test him, but like drive him further into his hatred to become stronger and stronger.
Okay.
And he like gives him like partners to work with and shit, and like Vader's just like
I do all my shit alone. Like I don't want to work with anyone. Like I'm the most powerful force wielding being in the galaxy.
and, like obviously Palpatine is, but like he doesn't,
Right.
you know, he can't know that. And then there's like this whole scene where like Anakin gets Padme's ship. So the Nubian, so he gets the Nubian
Yeah.
that he like is on when he's a little boy,
Yeah.
and like he gets that as a gift from Palpatine.
What the
Palpatine's
fuck?
like, yeah, dude. So like just to like keep driving the hate, like now your ship is the ship that drove your ex-lover around, you know, like all these like crazy, because it was Leia, or it was Padme's ship, you know. So then like he literally like drives or flies the Nubian like through. It's something to do with like the deflector shields are off or something, but like takes it through the atmosphere of whatever planet, and then like it burns the shell of it, so it's no longer like shiny, and that's like symbolic of him being like, you know, like I'm destroying everything good and all that kind of stuff, whatever. And then he goes back to Mustafar and starts like building his like own like palace, basically. Vader does. And before he does that, he gets the gift of this helmet, which is from Darth. It's not Malik. Malik is from Old Republic. This guy's like pre-Old Republic, but he was like purely force-wielding Sith Lord. That like when he was a kid, he was like a force wielder, but he was like absolute maniac, like just killed everyone as a child, and then like became like this Sith genius. Basically, just read up on everything he could Sith wise, like Sith lore, and then like he was like an artist, like he was like an architect. With the dark side. Like he didn't have like a saber that he went around killing. He literally just like literally manifested like Sith energy and like the dark side of the Force into architecture, which is
wow.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking insane. So Vader knows that about this helmet. Like he knows that that's that guy's helmet. Well, it turns out like that guy's soul is like still in his like helmet mask thing. So Vader takes it to his place on Mustafar and like puts the mask on like one of the Mustafarian like people. They're not really people. They're like, you know, obviously they're like humanoids, you know. Well, they're humanoids. They're just not like, you know. So he like puts the mask on one of them, and then he like comes to life through this thing. Wow. And then he's like, build me a palace, Vader is. And the guy's like, fucking absolutely. And he makes it for him. And he's like, I want this to be literally a door into like the dark side of the Force. Like he wants to like go to the source of the dark side, right?
Wow.
And the guy's like, I can do that. And then he tries to do it and he fails. And so Vader fucking kills him. But the mask doesn't die. So he just puts the mask on another one. And it's just like torturing this soul basically.
Oh, wow.
To like make him make this, you know, whatever. And so he ends up making a door that is literally a path into the dark side. So Vader goes through there, right?
Yeah.
And he loses his body. And as he's walking around in the manifested dark side, he's like literally just like a soul entity. And as he's walking around in there, like on the sides of this path, like his memories as Anakin start like popping up. But it's all the things that made him become Vader over time. So like the original sin in the Anakin story was him being taken from his mother and never seeing her again. Because he says to his mom right when he leaves, like, I'll come back for you. Oh. And then she gets killed by the Tusken Raiders. Or the same people, you know? So he never gets to come back for it. So that was like sin number 1 for him. And there's this whole path where he literally is like all the sins all the way down. And then like the last one is like Padme's like standing there and he like goes to hold her and then she dies in his arms. Oh. And then he becomes Vader. Like the Vader. Wow. And his eyes turn yellow. And that's why Anakin's eyes are yellow.
I see.
And then he becomes the greatest force wielding. I mean, it's just, dude, I don't know. So just to further the point about the canon versus legends, Jedi Fallen Order is not canon. It's like none of those characters fit in the timeline, but like Vader's in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like in the movies, Cal Kestis doesn't exist in the movies universe, but like Vader exists in the legends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got
you. The boundary isn't two ways. It's only one way.
Okay.
So like Luke could show up in a Legends comic, but like the storyline from that Legends comic doesn't exist in the canon. I don't know.
I always thought that
Sorry
was
for
super
going off about Vader.
No. I always thought that was super interesting about George Lucas is the fact that he let so many different people write whatever the fuck they wanted. Yeah. I thought that was so cool.
Well, and it's like a Stan Lee-esque approach, sort of, you know, where like certain Marvel shit has become canon Marvel MCU and certain things haven't, but like there was a window, everyone was allowed to write whatever they wanted kind of thing.
Have you watched the behind the scenes shit on Mandalorian?
No, but I've heard it's fantastic.
Oh, dude, I had no idea that the 5 directors that he hired that Disney hired technically. No, yeah, because Jon Favreau. Mm-hmm. Anyways, the 5 directors that they hired are absolute, like, just amazing. Mm-hmm. But the one director, Werner Herzog, no, that was revealing that he wasn't a director.
Oh, he was just an actor. I thought he was. Okay, never mind then.
No, it was the guy who did Thor Ragnarok, Taiki Waititi. Is it Taiki Waititi?
I don't know, but yeah. I know exactly who you mean.
And then Ron Howard's daughter.
John Howard?
She's the redheaded lady in the new Jurassic Park movies with Chris Pratt.
Is she in Jumanji?
No.
Because there's the redheaded girl in Jumanji.
That's the lady from The Office.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's not?
Correct. It's actually, believe it or not, you ready for this? Here's an MCU connection for you. Jumanji to MCU.
Oh.
The redheaded girl from Jumanji?
It's what's her name's sister, right?
No. I mean, maybe. But what I was going to say is she plays fucking Nebula in the Marvel movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what's her name's sister? Yo-Yo Ma's cousin, Lil Nepetiz. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Nebula,
I did know that.
which is crazy.
I should have remembered her.
No.
But anyways, so the guy that got hired, directed, or was an animator on the Clone Wars.
Oh, dude, Clone Wars I could talk about for days.
See, so
I haven't
that's
seen the new season though, so
the
don't
crazy
fucking spoil
thing.
it for me.
I watched none of it.
Oh, all right.
I like Star Wars,
But you don't love Star Wars.
although I did.
Your son loves Star Wars
Yeah,
now.
I
And you have
did.
fucking me to thank for that. So, not really. But
I really did love Kylo Ren and
Rey
Rey. Yeah,
Rey Palpatine.
Rey Palpatine.
And then at the end, she's like, Rey Skywalker. And you're
Yeah.
like, go fuck yourself. But also, you kind of get the freedom to say that. 'Cause
Identity theft isn't a joke, Ray.
millions of planets suffer every year in this galaxy. But she kind of earns it, though, because she becomes like all that is the lights out of the Force in that moment.
Plus, she hooked up with Princess Leia. That's why she didn't want to be with anybody, but she was okay with making out with Kylo because
None of this is
same
true.
family.
Dude, you're not going to ruin this for me. Because I don't know if that's pedophilia, because I don't know how old Rey is, but
how about this? Rey is actually Stan from Eminem's song, but in the Star Wars universe, she was just obsessed with the
Leia.
Skywalker family.
Yeah.
And she's the reason they're all dead. All of them. Stan. And then, and she was like, what's your name? And Luke and Leia and Kylo are standing back there and they're like, she's Rey and she's like, I'm Skywalker. And they're like, what? Bye. She's a psycho, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't...
For sure. Anyways, anime.
Dude, you don't get to know.
Right? Couldn't you see that?
Yeah, fuck you, dude. Yes, I could see that, and this is ruining that whole... Fuck, dude.
It was a ruse the whole time.
That's a hot take, dude. Like, it's not... It holds no water, because, like...
It holds some metachlorians, though.
Nice. The metachlorian readings are off the charts. We've never seen them this high in a living life form. Bow.
Oh, okay. I remember what the next thing I was going to do was.
Oh,
Very
don't worry.
excited.
I'm done talking about Star Wars.
Okay, good. Anime? Did you watch the anime documentary on Netflix?
No.
Okay.
Worth watching?
The reason why, for one, have you heard of Castlevania?
I've heard it's fantastic.
So fucking good. The guy who... Did you ever watch
So aggressive. Go ahead.
the real Power Ranger with James Vanderbeek? Did I tell you about this?
No.
Okay. So he did like a fan fiction of, but like a highly produced version of if the Power Rangers like met Kill Bill. It's so fucking rad. It's like a 20-minute short film. And James Vanderbeek is this government agent who's trying to track down this one Power Ranger. The guy who made Castlevania made that shit.
Okay.
And Netflix was like, hey, what do you want to make? And he was like, I like the video game Castlevania. I want to make a show about it. And they were like, all right, go for it. And it fucking took off. It's so good. He's now friends with Kanye West because of that show.
That's kind of sweet.
There's cool shit in that documentary like that. But the big takeaway for me was I had no idea that there are, like, you know how in LA people joke about how somebody's trying to hand you a screenplay all the time, or like, hey, check out my script. There are stores full of basically scripts, like so Canon stuff or manga.
Yeah.
So there's manga stores of like like they're not picked up by anything. They're just out there. And then people go in there, like producers of comics or of anime will go into these stores, buy one, find whoever wrote it, and be like, hey, we're gonna buy this and turn it into da-da-da. But like there's just stores that they physically walk into. It's crazy.
That's wild.
I know. I couldn't believe it when, like,
That's so cool.
it's like throwing your coin into a wishing well.
Literally. Wow, that's cool.
That blew my mind. Because then you just look, when I saw that store, because they were like crammed pretty tight, I was like, that's a fucking store full of dreams.
Dude, yeah.
Like,
wow.
Walking through
Good for you with that
fucking
language.
dreams.
That's super cool.
Oh, yeah, it blew my mind. Nerd
Wow.
shit.
That's really cool. That's super cool.
Yeah.
It's like hope manifested into books.
There's like a Disney of anime. Do you know that? Like there's a company that is as big as Disney, but produces like children's anime.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I wish I could
insane.
remember what it was called, but that was super fucking cool.
Yeah.
The guy who owns it straight up just loves anime, loves comics. And you're like, wow. You can tell, like, it's just this grown ass man.
And you don't hate Jews? This is incredible.
We didn't cover that topic.
Oh, but that's Walt Disney.
I did hear, you have to turn it up when you watch it, but I could have sworn at the very end I heard him say, "Hail Hydra."
Wow.
But I
What's up, circles?
don't know.
Dun, 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 dun.
I am going to check my email
Why?
because I wanted to do something just for you. Top 10 reasons golf is not a sport.
Don't even get me started. I'll kill
10.
you.
You can play while injured.
No, what?
You could not play soccer, basketball, or hockey at the highest level with a broken leg.
You can't play golf at the highest level with a broken leg.
Tiger Woods won the U.S. Open despite playing with his left knee missing an ACL and 2 stress fractures in his left tibia.
Mario Lemieux won a Stanley Cup and scored more goals or had the most goals and assists ever in a playoff run, and he couldn't even tie his own skates because the vertebrae in his spine were all off kilter, so he couldn't feel his legs.
Oh, I thought you were
And
going
he
to
had
say because
leukemia. He literally couldn't bend over and tie his own skates. And got more points in the playoffs than any player ever.
Why does
So-
that keep happening? It only
Because I'm a
happens
spaz.
to you.
And I just refuted that whole list with 1 point. Keep
Yeah, but-
going.
but
Nope, I
he
want to
said
hear 9.
Basketball and
Hockey and Michael Jordan literally won an NBA championship with a fever of 104.
fever. Anyways, okay. Olympic rule. I don't know what that is.
What?
While golf will be an Olympic sport at the 2016 Summer Olympics, it hadn't been an Olympic sport since 1904. So the Olympics didn't recognize it as a sport, is what they were saying.
Fuck that. The Olympic Committee is literally just one of the most corrupt organizations in the entire world.
I was trying to figure out where they were going with that. That was weird.
That one is bullshit. There are so many things that are considered Olympic that are Olympic sports that are definitely not sports.
Competitions and scorekeeping.
Are you going to tell me
doesn't-
archery's a sport? Go fuck yourself. Okay, so what were you saying?
competition and scorekeeping does not equal sport.
What?
The fact that there is an element of competition, that is to say a number of individuals competing against one another, does not mean that it's a sport. much like children playing on a playground.
Okay, to use something so weirdly arbitrary as that. Okay. I can't even refute that because that's not even a point. They're not even making a point. They're literally just like, yeah, so just because people are trying doesn't mean that they're trying. What? The fuck are you talking about? Number fucking 7. Or 6. Are we on 6 now?
We're on 7.
Okay.
Lack of speed and tempo.
Bullshit. They literally have rules in place so that you can't take a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Just like you can get a delay a game in pretty much every sport, you can get a delay a game in fucking golf.
The age of the players.
Oh my God.
Most true athletes peak at 35, whereas 89-year-olds have been seen playing in the
PGA Tour?
No,
they play on the senior PGA Tour.
Is it still a pro golf?
It's like it's fucking old guys that don't give a shit anymore. I mean, they give a shit, but like that's not the same as like the professional tour.
This one's pretty self-explanatory. Golfers are not athletes.
Period?
Yeah. They all sport dad bods like Guy Boros, Kevin Stadler, and John Daly.
Okay, so first of all, they just pulled out a bunch of names of old golfers, right? They're just like, yeah, John Daly was fat. Okay, you're going to tell me that Bartolo Colon is an athlete? Guy's one of the greatest pitchers of the early 2000s. He's like 290 pounds. This guy was so fat. CC Sabathia, another absolutely legendary pitcher. Played for the Yankees. I think for most of his career, he played for the Tigers, and then he played for the Yankees. Not entirely sure on that. Please don't quote me. But CC Sabathia, absolute freak show. Guy's like 6'7", really fat.
But, I mean, baseball is just the golf of, like, the sports world.
Okay, so football. You're telling me that offensive linemen...
Those are fatties.
Who are very fat guys. Yeah, they're quick. They have quickness. But the agility that they display with their feet is the same level of hand-eye coordination that John Daly showed with a golf club.
That leads right into number 4, which is skill doesn't mean sport.
Okay, sure, but like, the hell are they talking about?
Some argue that the fact that golf requires skill and the reason why I'm pointing it away like this is because it's static. I didn't know if you thought I was just being a weirdo.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. I don't...
So anyways, some argue...
winning. I'm beating this article right now.
That the fact that golf requires skill and practice means that it's a sport. He's just saying, okay, chess requires all of those same skills. So does brain surgery. Or theatrical... I'm a smart person. Theoretical physics.
You know what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? Like
So he's saying that,
I get what he's saying. I get it, but also like not an actual point. You're not making a point. You're just you're throwing something arbitrary out there and then hoping it sticks.
Much of the activity is walking.
Fucking soccer, man.
If you're not walking, then you're just standing.
Okay, soccer.
Yeah, but they run in soccer.
Okay, 90 minutes. When the ball's on this end, but you're not running.
They never run in golf, though.
If you play forward in soccer, right?
Okay. I thought you were saying golf.
Or play attack in soccer, right?
Yeah.
And the ball is in your end of the field.
Uh-huh.
You're not running around. You're lightly jogging.
Sure.
Maybe.
But
a lot
still,
of times,
jogging.
you're just standing.
But there's jogging to be had. Right?
Because the field is the size of an absolute... It's an airport. Like... It's like that's the only reason they jog.
But nobody in golf is like, shit, I'm on the 9th hole, I gotta jog.
So you're telling me playing goalie in hockey or goalie in soccer, you're not an athlete, not a sport? Playing goalie makes it not a sport.
They do the splits.
What about being a kicker in football? Is that not a sport?
They do the splits.
Not a sport?
And they can
if you're
get
a kicker
hit.
in football?
But
not a sport, though.
And the kicker might have to run. If he fucks up, he might have to run. If sometimes kickers fake and they do the thing, there's running to be had.
Possibly.
There's no running to be had.
I can't.
Golf.
Okay, so if pace of play, right?
Uh-huh.
And the lack of running are the two things that I feel like maybe have the most of an argument against golf, right? Not being a sport.
Yeah.
If I see those two things, that's sure. Like, yeah, golf is pretty slow, takes a long fucking time, and most of it is standing. Then literally, baseball isn't a sport.
I agree with you. I don't think that either of them are sports.
And I think...
And I'm glad that we agree that neither of them are sports.
No, we don't. I mean, go fuck yourself, for sure, with the attitude that you're presenting right now, because it's so smug. And, like, honestly, I hope for the next, 4 days you step in dog shit. Actually, you know what? I hope you make a bowl of cereal tomorrow, and you open up the milk, and you pour it out, and instead of milk, it's dog shit.
Oh, man.
I hope that.
Are you so young that you still eat cereal?
No. I haven't had cereal in years, but I just figured because you're being a child that maybe you eat cereal.
Damn it, that was a good one.
Thanks. But also, I'm not wrong about this. Golf is definitely a sport. Just look up a picture of Brooks Koepka.
I mean, this guy looks pretty taut.
That's Rafa Cabrera Bello? No. That is Rory McIlroy. Couldn't see it from that far.
I high-fived one of the most famous golfers last year.
Oh, we're not even done. Oh, lack of physical exertion. Is that the one? I'll tell you this. If the featured athlete in the ESPN body issue is a golfer.
Yeah, but I mean, ESPN is all sports all the time. They're going to run out of people eventually. They're going to be like, what's a sport? What's a sport?
That guy's a golfer.
That's photoshopped.
Nope, it's real. He literally he didn't work out for this. That was their whole thing. They were like, "You look a little doughy, actually." In a couple of years, and he's like, "I don't care."
You know why he doesn't care? Because he's not an athlete.
No, because he shows like he doesn't have to.
That's
work
a
out.
woman.
That's literally a man. That's Brooks Koepka.
So I'll have to put those two photos up of a naked woman in her 60s.
That I showed you just now?
You showed me just now. What were the last two things?
It's a game, which...
Right, like Parcheesi
or basketball
Monopoly. Or
see, this is
wrestling?
what I mean. It's like they're just using... They're using, like, weird manipulation of language to be like... See, like, golf's not a sport because it's a game.
I like the lack of physical exertion.
It's a picture of a guy sitting down. It's like soccer goalies sit down all the fucking time.
Do they?
Yeah. And also soccer is, in my opinion, less physical exertion than golf, because in golf you can't fake being hurt and everyone else gets punished.
ESPN actually ranked golf 51st in sports that require the least amount of physical exertion.
That's fine. Like I'm not asking them to say it's like that can't be if you want to use that as a defining factor, again, like physical exertion as a defining factor for like what makes something a sport, then they're like
curling.
Soccer again. That's according to this, curling is more of a sport than golf.
That's true.
Right.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
You
it's like
convinced me that curling is more of a sport than golf.
God, you're such a dick. It's not. It is a sport, man. God.
But see, the reason why I did that was the premise that you had last time, or the first time with golf. I was like, dude, it'd be awesome to like do this and get you all riled up, because then you can think of all of the things that people make fun of golf for and be like,
dude, wow, so thoughtful, Poppy. Thank you.
Look, and plus, seeing you get actually angry is awesome.
I know, it's one of your favorite things.
So fucking excited for the premise this week.
It's about that time, isn't it? I mean,
oh yeah,
we're like an hour and a half in.
No,
we're hour and 15.
Hour and 7.
All right. Do you want to go first or should I go first? You're very excited for
yours,
okay. So I think going first is...
If I were a superhero, my superpower would be the will to not shit my pants. I absolutely refuse to shit myself. And I'm like Batman. with a utility belt of Imodium, Pepto-Bismol, everything that keeps me from shitting my pants. And random foods are like shitty villains that Batman has to fight, but always beats. That's me against shitting myself.
That's a pretty good premise.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know.
Because I refuse to shit myself. I have been in
That's what it requires.
violent, like
You need anecdotes for it.
shitting scenarios. Like my origin story is what I would like start it as.
Oh, nice.
Is
And you got to do in a world,
so here's where it all started.
one man,
I drink
diarrhea.
I drink a lot of liquids, like in general. It's just been me forever.
Okay.
Pepsi, Coca-Cola, semen. I drink it.
Okay.
So in excess.
Okay, don't in the real joke, don't say semen. Say urine. Because urine.
Say urine.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, that wasn't even a part of the joke. I was just
Oh, I thought this was like origin story. I thought you were like doing the joke.
Oh, no.
Because you could do that. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, urine, all the liquids. Okay, keep going.
So I would have to go to the bathroom a lot. Like I go to the bathroom a lot anyways.
Yeah, you pee more than any man I know.
Yeah. And so like there was one particular teacher that was kind of sick of me having to go to the bathroom. Cuz I would be like, "Hey, do you want to go with me? Cuz I'll show
prove to
you
you
that
that
I am pissing."
Right.
One time though, I had to shit. And this teacher was like, "You're going to have to wait till the end of class." And I was like, that's insane. I have to shit like now. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't tell I have to shit."
Right,
I was
right.
like, I have to poop. I have to poop. And she's like, "I'm sorry." So this is my first villain.
Right.
This
nice.
lady
This is the origin story. Yeah. This is the spider
trying
bite.
to make me shit myself, basically.
Yeah.
I was like rolling on the ground. At times, I couldn't tell if I could feel it poking or not because I refused to stop clenching to test if it was something poking out or not.
Okay.
I have to shit, and I remember it so well because that feeling is so intense.
It is. There are few things that are as intense as that. Like
Yeah.
last 10 seconds on the drive home when you have to poop and
Yeah, when something, bigger than all of your fingers is trying to leave your body.
whoa.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like
okay, I get what you. Yeah.
your digits.
Yeah.
Like think you put a finger up your butt. You're like, there's a lot up there.
Yeah.
This is happening, right? I'm rolling on the ground. I'm like, freaking out. The bell rings. I get up. I go and I shit in the toilet. From that day on, I said, I will never shit myself, ever. I've shit in the woods. I've shit behind walls.
Right. But never.
Never in my pants.
That's incredible. Because I
Yeah,
like poop myself
some people
twice
say
last year.
that my body is a temple. My trousers are a temple.
Nice.
I almost shit myself. Like, did I tell you about that one where I was shooting Don't Tell comedy
Yeah.
for Casey?
Yeah, you told me about that.
That one, I'll do it real quick on here. Ate Chinese food. 30 minutes later, my body was like, "Hey, we're not sure that was food." And so I went to a Dollar General hoping that there was a bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Have you done this on stage before?
No.
Do that. That line.
That exact one.
30 minutes later, my body was like, "Hey, we're not sure that was food." And then just keep rolling through. That's fucking funny. Keep going.
So, okay. So I get to this Dollar General and I go to the bathroom and it's locked. And so I find an employee and I said, do I need a key to get in the bathroom? And she goes, "You do, but we lost the key 5 days ago and haven't been able to find it." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay. So I run out of the store.
Yeah.
Bathroom's all the way at the back. I have to run out and I'm going down this like outlet mall basically. Or just outlet stores. And none of them have bathrooms. I'm looking and I'm going, fuck, why don't these have bathrooms? The only thing that has a bathroom is the Caribou all the way across the parking lot. I'm like, fuck, man, this is horrible. I go, there's no way the employees didn't know that I had to shit, like for sure. I go to open the door and it's locked. And this lady goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, my son is in there. Timmy, how you doing in there?" And he says something back, and I even do like kids. And luckily the barista behind the thing goes, "You can use the women's. It's fine." It wasn't a girl. He was just super gay. And he handed me the key. And I went. Who was it that told me this? They call it corking, which is when you shit and the first part is solid, but the rest is liquid.
Yeah.
So it's the cork popping off of a champagne bottle.
So funny. Okay.
And then boom. That's what happened. It was so violent. But that was like 10 minutes of like, it's New Year's fucking Eve, dude, in my asshole. And somebody's going to pop that champagne bottle.
Oh, well done. Great story, man.
Thank you. I was so excited.
God, poop stories are the best.
They really are. I will never not think farts
Caitlin
are
the other
funny.
day listened to our one of the episodes, I think it was the first one, and she was like, I think it's more of a dude show. It's like, I think you might be right.
Oh, fuck.
But, I mean, that story, that's a dude story.
Yeah.
I don't know one dude in my entire life that wouldn't laugh at that story, but I also don't know one girl in my life that wouldn't be like, ew. Honestly. Did you hear me fart just now?
I did.
It's definitely going to be audible on the tape. That whole story about pooping, when my whole body was like, poop? Because you know I have IBS, so. Yeah, I mean, if we don't wrap this recording up soon, we're going to have to pause. All right, so I think I've talked. Dude, I've been burpy today.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's really
Is
gross.
this Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
No, I have acid reflux, so that's where the IBS comes from.
Did you get the reference, though? The soda that makes
yeah, yeah.
They have to burp so they don't get sucked up in the
yeah,
fan.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Your time's over.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think I've maybe talked to you about this before. I wrote this premise a really long time ago, and I found it the other day. And that's one of my favorite things ever, is when you find a premise and you're like, I don't think I've done this on stage. And this is one that there's a reason I haven't done it on stage, and it's because I just don't think it's ready for that. But this is purely a premise.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. Like, you were really excited to do all that. Mostly because it's already finished. That's just a fucking great premise and a great
When
joke.
I text you on Monday, that was the same feeling I had to shit was what it felt like.
Yeah. I get that. Wow.
Yeah.
Well
That's
done.
why I was all frantic.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's ready for the stage.
Pew, pew, pew.
Okay. So this one is something maybe I've talked to you about, as I said, but I really think we could hash out some good like tags and actual punchlines for this. But the other day I was on Twitter, and our president, as we kind of talked about, is a little bit of a lunatic, but Twitter is really where he shines. Him on Twitter isn't even like his tweets and his like total antics on Twitter are not even the best part of his Twitter. The best part of his Twitter is the fact that like hundreds of people have become Twitter famous since he was elected by simply replying to his tweets being like, "Thank you, President Trump. You are so honorable. You're the greatest. Hashtag 45, hashtag MAGA, hashtag Trump 2020. There's like literally, there are people who are Twitter famous for replying to the president's tweets. Hundreds of thousands of followers. Yeah. It's baffling. And the craziest part about it is there are people who are Twitter famous for only shitting on the president. So every single tweet, there's people who, and I could show you right now. I literally, one of the guys looks like Andy Dick. And I just want to say that because You're going to see this guy. Wow, hot mic. You're going to see this guy in the replies. You ready? Okay. So honored Archbishop blah, 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 right? Random tweet, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Andy Dick lookalike. Where is he? Don Michael PhD. She shows up every time. Let's see how much followers she has. 89,000.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That's so weird.
It's like, to me, it's like so this is kind of something that I feel like there she is again. Congratulations, you know what I mean? She's like, and they're always like, they're either like, you are the worst, you're a child, we hate you, or they're like, you're the greatest thing that's ever happened to America. It's insane. But to me, it's like there's like two sides of it. It's like the people who are just like patting them on the back or whatever, they're like, this is so fucked. And this is why I've not done this on stage yet, because like the idea is there, the premise is there. It's just like I have no idea how to do this joke, but really, like, to me, it sounds like it's like the three super nerdy, like gross girls in like junior high that like when the popular girls like walk by. The three girls are like, hey, Tiffany, thanks. You look so beautiful today. You know, and then Tiffany's like, thanks. And then like keeps walking and then looks at her friends and she's like, what are those fat girls talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's Donald.
Yeah.
Like Donald, if Donald met any one of these people in real life, he would be like, get away from me, scum.
Yeah.
But they're all literally thriving on social media.
Yeah.
For kissing his ass.
It's like the kids that they were neighbors with the popular kid.
Yep.
And so they knew them when they were kids.
Right.
And so it's like, yeah, Terry and I used to play football together.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? You played football? Yeah, you know, we'd do touch games in the yard. You didn't play football together.
Yeah.
You just touched each other.
Right. And it's very, very similar to that. But then like the flip side people, the negatives or the people who are the contrarians to him.
Yeah.
I feel like are like the popular emo kid in high school. That was like, Joe Tanner is a fucking piece of shit. Who's with me? And then like half the grade was like, fuck yeah, Dalton, you're tight as hell. Wait, did you get a real tattoo? We're in 8th grade. Nah, dude, it's henna, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's so weird to me. Like I almost exclusively look at his Twitter.
That is insane.
Just to look at what the people that always are there are saying about Donald this time. Wow. It's hilarious. Like here we go. You ready? Trump goes on a like rant. Big thing. And then the final tweet is, our history as the greatest nation in the world will not be tampered with. Respect our military. Guy's like out of his mind, right?
Yeah.
He always like capitalizes weird words. I don't know. The guy's a Twitter maniac, okay? First comment. Here's a thread in which Trump declares that he won't stop using the names of traitors who killed American soldiers in the name of slavery before they lost a war against America. Okay? His name's Walter Schaub. That tweet has 1,500 likes and 314 retweets. Don Michael, PhD. There she is. Our history should not be tampered with, and those who suggest it are the same people that want to become a socialist-run country. It's like the two sides of the coin, and that's it. Everyone. Like this lady right here. Replying to Donald Trump. Like if you go to their tweets and replies, they're like, almost all of them are replies to the Trumpster.
That's so weird.
They're literally making, like some of these people like have businesses and websites that they like sell shit on. Like they're making a living.
That's so
through
strange.
Twitter. Like driving all the traffic to their website and shit. By literally being like, Donald Trump is the greatest president ever. Every day to everything he says.
Wow. That's super strange.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like it's a fucking gold mine, but I don't know how to turn it into a joke.
I mean, it's the...
The premise basically is imagine being Twitter famous for kissing the president's ass.
Yeah.
But like, it's so much deeper than that.
Yeah. You're, God.
Her fucking bio. Wife, mom, author, sexual health counselor, proud patriot. My views are my own. The last thing in her bio. Proudly retweeted by President Trump. That's her like claim to fame. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I've ever been retweeted by a president that's actually kind of badass and cool, but that can't be what you live by.
Have you ever heard of Black Veil Brides?
No.
They're
Is
like
it a band?
they're like a modern 80s rock band basically. Like they were on the Warped Tour, but they were like 80s rock style. But the kids
So
love
hair
them.
metal kind of?
Kind of.
Okay.
The kids love them because the lead singer, hot as fuck.
Okay.
He's like a bit on the pasty side, but whoo, Kevin.
Okay. Okay. Hey,
I've
there it
started
is.
hoof
Hell
Kevining.
yeah.
I love it.
Kevin.
But he retweeted a photo of mine, and because not only did they like swarm to my Twitter, all Central America and like Brazil for some reason is always like, for musicians, anytime one of us photographers would get something like that, just gobs and gobs of Portuguese and Hispanic. It was crazy.
Okay.
But they found everything. They found my Instagram, they found my Facebook, and they were just like, more Black Veil Brides, please.
Wow.
Twitter
wild.
is insane in that
Yeah.
in that way.
Yeah. It's just like the driving traffic kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like to this day is
It's the-
how I wake up. It's been the 3 years. I've nearly woken up every day and checked Twitter and gone through Trump's latest tweets just to get a laugh out of the fucking bootlickers and contrarians. It just every day it makes me laugh.
Yeah. So you've got the kid that will egg the principal's car, and then there's the kid that's scrubbing the egg off of the principal's car. That dichotomy.
I feel like it's the kid that eggs the bully's car. Or the most popular kid's car.
Oh, yeah. There
Kid
you go.
eggs the most popular kid's car, and the kid who's cleaning off voluntarily cleaning off the most popular kid's car.
Before the popular kid even knows what happens. And he's like, "Hey, Steven, I cleaned your car off." Like, thanks? Why?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Don't touch my car.
You're awesome, Steven. Thanks for talking to me. You know? And you're like, what? I got so loud there. That's going to
Yeah.
be tough to edit with. But, yeah. But then the other guy...
It shows the excitement sometimes. So.
Right. And then the other guy will, like, walk past Steven and be like, "Hey, Steven, how do you like your eggs?" You know?
Yeah.
And then Steven's like, the fuck is he talking about? How do I like my eggs?
That's the best part, is that Steven doesn't know either.
Right.
They are waging these weird things.
Exactly.
Steven has no fucking idea.
Exactly. Thank you. I like that.
That's
the
fantastic.
angle I got to take. And actually, what I should do is tell that. And then after all that, be like, so that whole thing, that's what's happening on the president's Twitter right now. Don't even mention being Twitter famous from Trump
Yeah.
at all in the
Oh,
beginning.
oh.
Start off, it'd be like, remember that kid in high school? It was like the most popular kid, and there was like, he was like so divisive. It was like really weird, you know? It was like some kids like literally hated that guy, right? And so there was like the leader of the kids who hated that guy, and that guy would do shit to the most popular kid, and it would like rev up all the kids on the side that hated him, you know? And they like exalted that guy, and they were like, he's the best among us, you know? Like, he gets it. He gets what we all struggle with, you know? And then like that guy would like egg the popular guy's car, you know?
He's the Michael Keaton of our generation.
Right. And then like there was the kid who like kissed the ass of the popular guy, right? And like he wanted nothing in the popular guy's life to go wrong because he just worshipped this guy. Yeah. So then like the day that, you know, like Dalton fucking eggs Steven's car, then like Cody is like cleaning up Steven's car before Steven finds out. Because like he loves Steven so much.
Yeah.
But the weirdest part about it was like Steven didn't really know either of them, you know? It's like Steven was too busy hanging out with Colton, you know? And like Steven and Colton just like hung out with Sarah and Jessica, and that was it. They just like went into Steven's parents' hot tub all the time and like made out, and that was like whatever. And sometimes they switched places with each other, and it was like totally weird and cool. But there was like this whole weird war going on underneath the power of Steven that Steven was completely unaware of.
The power of Steven.
And that's what's happening with the president right now on Twitter. There's a better way to do that, but I think that's the gist of
that.
I'm just glad I got all that out because I'm going to watch this back and just try to like formulate it into a bit.
That's another thing that's nice about this is since we haven't been able to go on stage, like this is a way to like test that shit out.
Yeah.
Because sometimes saying it out loud, and I'll say things to Kim, and she's like, another one.
Yeah. It's not the same. And like in my case, like Caitlin's so supportive of everything I say.
Yeah.
You know, and do not everything. Like sometimes I'll be like, dude, who wants to sue my dick? You know, and then she's like, shut up, stop. You know, but like in this case, you know, if I tell her a joke, she's like, that's pretty funny. You know, and, and it could be horrible. Could be not funny at all. But I'm like, hey, thanks. Thank you for that idea, dude.
Yeah.
That's solid. That's very good.
You that's the nice thing about you is that you like I have like just outlandish ideas that can catch people and be like, what the fuck? That's so like it's so weird that it makes them laugh.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's gonna hold from stage to stage. So like one night it might work where just some random shit made somebody laugh.
Yeah.
So you helped me figure out that process, that recipe so that it goes from stage to
stage.
Glad
you feel that way. Because that's like I don't know. I have almost as much fun like helping people punch up material as I do doing my own material.
Goes back to nerd shit.
Yeah.
Right? We have never written a single comic. We have no superheroes under our belt, nor Jedi, and yet we can geek the fuck out over all that stuff, and it's fun
because it's like part of us, in a weird way. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, dude. I mean, God, dude, I love that fucking premise now. I liked it. I thought it was like good, but it wasn't like a premise. It was just like an observation I had, and I'm like, how weird is this?
That is insane.
Yeah.
I can't...
I mean, like, that there are people who are legitimately famous on Twitter.
I'm so curious. The only thing that I can think of, like, that comes close to that, this was fucking forever ago. Like, George Bush was president. And there was this press conference. One of the journalists asked him a question to line him up, to set him up to talk about how dope he was, basically.
Oh, like they threw him a softball.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, I wish I could remember what the question was, but it was so strange. So the other journalists were like, who the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And people were like, you know him? No, I don't know. What about you? You know him? No. Well, how do you get his credentials?
Right.
And so they started diving into this guy. They found out that he was a male escort in his off time from whatever his normal job is. So they were like, okay, we can't say that that's where you guys got him from, but pretty fucking weird that he just so happens to do this shit in his free time. And now he's here?
Huh. That's very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. I don't know, dude. I'm so glad that angle is so much better than just like going straight forward with it.
But you came up with it just as much as I did. Like it was, you'll listen back and hear it, obviously.
But like because you're almost like building misdirection like into the joke without there being actually any misdirection. It's just like you're doing basically a metaphor the whole time, but nobody knows.
Yeah,
they think you're talking about, and that the misdirection is the metaphor, but the metaphor is a real thing anyway.
That's that's an umami joke.
Wow, nice. It's all about mouthfeel. But yeah, dude, I just like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, like you could just tell that story without the Trump thing being true at all, or with being a part of the joke anyway.
Yeah.
Because just like that whole
That
thing,
on its own is fucking hilarious.
just because like that, it was a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most popular kid in school didn't even know the people that hated and loved him
Yeah.
because he was too busy.
I honestly went to school with a kid like that. Like
So did I.
to the T. Just had no fucking idea. And the funny thing was he was so like neutral, like docile. Like he never made anybody feel like less than. He was
Right.
just kind of a dopey dude. He would approach people that I knew talked immense amounts of shit about him and would talk about how they hated him for this and that and the other thing. And he would just be like, "Hey guys, how's it going today? Great. How you
Right.
doing?"
Right. And then walks away and they're like, fucking.
I shouldn't have used his real name just then. It came out. I was going to say like Eric, I think. And then came out. I'm
You
going to
should-
beep all of those out.
You also shouldn't have said that you said his real name.
Right.
Because let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's not watching this.
That's like Hannibal. Have you heard Hannibal Buress's bit?
100%. That's exactly what I thought of as soon as he did that.
I gotta
Probably stop using your real name for this joke, but
And next coming up to the stage is the bitch that stole my heart. Or bitch that broke my heart.
give it up for, what is her name?
Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany Johnson, everybody. I just stopped saying her real name for that joke, but actually, I should stop saying that I said her real name. It's like, I can still use a real name, but I don't know. It's so
Yeah.
funny. Can I just play it? No, I can't play it.
I mean, you could. This is a great bit. It's not very long either. Do you have the album on your phone?
100% I do.
I also have the album on my phone. Also random. There's not like a premise. Sometimes I'll write down Photoshop ideas in my joke pad. But anyways, so somebody
I don't
said
even know where the
something
joke is.
about
Doesn't matter.
about looters, about the looters in the city, and I was like, it would be awesome to Photoshop a bunch of loot musicians in the city as it's burning. Like these fucking looters are getting out of control. That was the other thing that I had written in there.
It's really funny.
But there's no way to make I couldn't make a joke out of it. Just the image is funny.
Witzel could.
God damn it, he could.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
You know why though? Is because that's just a Witzel joke. He tells, they're not even anti-jokes. They're just like, they're so bad that they're great. And most of them require like reading it because the spelling plays a huge role in the joke.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
It's like he's a like written comedian. Like he's a fantastic joke writer in that sense. He's
Yeah.
also a great comic. Like he has
Yeah.
good stage presence and all that shit for sure. But
I think he's a fantastic personality. Like
Yeah.
he's the type of guy that you could see making it like when Last Comic Standing actually meant something, like him being on there and everybody just being like, I like that fucking dude.
yeah, he's very likable.
Yeah. And like I always say, Whittle where you want it, whittle where you get it, whittle, 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 whittle. It's my Whittle song.
Okay, it's pretty funny.
Thanks.
You want to stop? What are you doing? That was like so weirdly sexually sexual tension. There was so
The
much
way that I
sexual
read the
tension.
thing?
No, and just the way you looked down and fidgeted. Like you were just like, it was like you would just ask Kim if she wanted to do it, and she was like, "Chris, I'm not interested at all," and you were like, "Okay, fine." I'm gonna go check up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. All right, should we call it?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, bro.
So same time next week?
Dude, absolutely.
Dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, absolutely.